All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you here watching us in VTune FM. As you know, I'm your girlie. My name is Asha, coming into you live. Thank you again so much, Kori, by the way, for coming in as our first guest here on VTune FM. Yippee!
Yay!
Oh, let's go! I'm so excited. Thank you again so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Oh my gosh, such an honor. This is amazing. I'm so excited.
Oh, thank you, thank you. This is just our first interview for many interviews to come. So hopefully a lot of you guys listening out there would be interested in our upcoming interviews as well with other amazing VTubers and V-singers. But of course, we're going to start off with Kori here. How are you doing today?
You know, I'm doing pretty good. I went dumpster diving behind some fun places and I got some trash treasures, got some good snacks. So, I'm feeling good. It was a good haul today. How about you, Asha?
Oh my goodness. I don't know about dumpster diving. I don't think I'm able to do that with my capabilities. But I did just woke up. I come from the other side of the world, the nebulas, made myself a nice cup of hot chocolate, and I'm ready to roll for this interview.
Nice. Heck yeah. I love hot cocoa.
Oh, do you have hot cocoa where you come from while you dumpster dive?
Sometimes it's kind of mixed in with all the other juices in there, the grease.
Well, hey, to each their own, right? If they like it, who am I to yuck their yum?
That's real. And, one man's trash is another raccoon's treasure,
I love that. Thank you so much for this energy. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to also mention about the really cool stuff that you just did recently, like your concert. So, like the singing, the performances, I am up for that. I'm so ready. All right, so we do have a line of amazing questions for you. So we're going to start off, of course, with just for the listeners out there, discovering you for the first time. How would you describe yourself in one sentence?
I would say I am a raccoon that got isekai'd into an ice princess's body in this magical world. And I've grown passionate for bringing VTubing to IRL spaces, in real life spaces. That's me. Yeah.
A raccoon turned into a princess, turned into a performer. Yeah. How did you put that all together? What was your idea for just being one day you're like, I don't want to be a raccoon in this trash life anymore. I just want to be a full-blown performing princess. What was the mindset for that?
Well, funnily enough, actually what was going on was the original Ice Princess in Xylon, this magical world, was trying to do this like summoning ritual and wanted to summon like this omnipotent god. Ooh. And instead messed it up because she was an amateur at summoning ritual type of magic and summoned a raccoon from Earth. Oh. So it was an accident. Yeah. But hey, you know what? Raccoons are pretty powerful. They can like bite you and stuff.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have raccoons here, but I can definitely assume that raccoons are one of the strongest living city mammals, I think.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. We steal the trash,
Whoa. Don't steal my trash here in space. I don't think that's a good idea.
That's fair. It's like a biohazard, yeah.
It is, unfortunately. Oh my god, that's a good combination. I don't think I've ever heard of a VTuber combining themselves as a raccoon / princess / pop star and all of that. So if you could describe your past and yourself today, what do you think would be the biggest difference between past Kori-Oujo and the present Kori-Oujo in terms of the content you produce?
I feel like past Kori-Oujo really didn't have much direction. I started off my VTubing career not knowing much about VTubing in general, and I didn't have like a North Star. Like I didn't have someone that I was inspired by or something like that, And so I was very much just like casting a wide net. I was working on visual novel games and I did original music. And I was also streaming and, I was just kind of doing a lot, but not really having purpose behind it. And so I think when I really realized my purpose and my passion in this space was when I started going to conventions as Kori. And I realized that not many VTubers were at conventions, at least in the time that I was doing it. This was back in, I think, 2023. And I went to my first con as Kori, and it was just such an amazing experience. And I think since then, I finally found that direction for myself where I'm like, okay, I want to bring VTubing IRL. Like, I do feel as if the VTubing community, there's so many positive aspects of it that I just want to bring into the everyday audience, you know?
Right.
And so I think that sense of purpose and that direction I formulated more recently, like in present day. And even now, I think I'm still struggling to figure it out, you know? It's been a lot to host like these independent concerts that are IRL as well, for example. And I've also had to realize that, you know, that's not sustainable. And so unfortunately, I am kind of letting go of that. But I think it's for a good purpose. And I know that even though I'm letting go of that, I know that I'm going to be doing something new and exciting that's, you know, just as fun and going to bring, you know, my passion once again. So yeah, I think just having a sense of direction and purpose is the biggest difference now.
Oh, that's so nice. I remember when I started off as a itty bitty wee VTuber, back in the day. I too was super lost with the direction of where I wanted to go. So having you talk about that, about like your journey through everything and finding purpose through performances and like meeting people and being influenced by their passion, by their heart, their support is something I feel like a lot of VTubers would love to feel as well. So it's also just really nice to just have like that kind of like support that everybody would love to have, especially when it comes to trying out VTubing. I'm pretty sure as early as when you're starting out, finding the community, the right people for you is something that's super important, especially when you're going for the longevity of being a content creator. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing it. Congratulations also for like a lot of the stuff that you've been working on. I know how hard it is to make events. So we're going to be talking about that definitely for later. But yeah, just hearing about how you've done so many has definitely been very influential for not just me, of course, but also to everybody else who's watching. So yeah, really cool.
Thank you.
To everybody,
Thank you,
of course, in the watching right now. Don't forget to give Kori here a good applause as we are proud of her for her amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. All right. Yeah. So because of that, we'd love to know in terms of music. So when did music become an important part of your identity as a VTuber? So you've mentioned again about performing and things like that, but prior to that, like maybe when you're starting out, was there any kind of like instance back then that you considered music as something that will be part of your identity?
Yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, the first couple of projects I did with my music were literally just for funsies. And if you had asked me back then that music would have been so intertwined with like me as a VTuber and my identity, I would have been like, no way. And so I think where it really became very interwoven into my story as a VTuber is probably when I was working on my visual novel games, and I was also in tandem working on my second album, Celestial Curse. And I was taking a lot of like the lore that I was writing in the visual novel games. Like I literally would copy and paste lines from the visual novel game into my lyric document for these songs. And it's because I really found it important to be able to intertwine like creator with Kori's lore and also my music. You know, I wanted all of that to be able to be heard. You know, I wanted that like seamlessness, I guess, in all of the projects that I did. And so because of that, you know, a lot of my emotions and the story of not just Kori-Oujo, the character, but Kori as a content creator just became a big part of my music. And when I got to the point where I was rethinking like whether or not I wanted to be a VTuber, that was when I decided like, you know, there was one thing I wanted to do. If I ever was going to graduate, the one thing I wanted to do before then was to perform in an IRL concert. And so that's when I like decided to host the first concert, which was Isekai in Las Vegas. It was on a big cinema screen. And that's really when I think music became a super integral part of like my identity as a VTuber was when I finally did that first concert and performed my songs there.
Oh man, I remember seeing that actually. I wanted to join the Isekai concert. That was like a little bit back. It was so interesting of a concept to me because again, not many people were very much into performances IRL. We've seen a lot of them just here on Twitch or like the usual social media platforms that we have, but having it on the big stage often is correlated to bigger people, you know, bigger VTubers. But you gave opportunities to so many indie VTubers or those starting out so that they can also perform on the big stage and also experience it for themselves. Honestly, that's like, again, another applause moment. Kori.
Thank you.
It's so nice to just have like the ability to, you know, go to these events and meeting new indie VTubers, and it's just really cool, you know, just in general, just being able to have that and just giving people the opportunity that they want to experience. It's already like a once in a lifetime for them, so it's really nice that we can have that as well here with you with all of the concerts that you've worked on thus far.
Heck yeah, thank you. I mean, Asha, you've done some really amazing things too, like the Hope.exe. I'm just saying, like, you know, you're giving opportunities as well, and I think it's really great to, you know, when it does happen, when there are VTubers out there that are giving out opportunities, like we got to celebrate that, you know. So thank you as well for what you did with Hope.exe, the charity drive for the future. Yeah, that was really awesome, and I was also very honored to be a part of that. So thank you.
Thank you as well. I'm so happy that you are also part of that. And there are many more events to come, of course. All right, everybody, we're going to take a short break before we continue, but don't go anywhere because we have more questions lined up. I'll see you guys in a bit.